Hello and welcome to today's video, and today we're going to start looking at the front driver's side door conduit. So you can see that this one actually looks fairly intact, but as you can see it's split away here, and also, not that you can see that, it's split away up here as well. Now, to be able to get to it fully, I am going to have to drive the car out of the garage, and then I should be able to fully open the door and do everything that I need to do. Within the limited space available, I'm going to see what I can do as it stands, because I should be able to get this panel off. Behind here is a fuse box, and I'm hoping also behind here is the actual connectors for the door. So there is actually a screw down here which is actually coming out surprisingly easily, and there doesn't seem to be anything else around that, even right at the back. And if I do this, it is tucked into there, I think. So if I push that back a bit, that does kind of come away. You can actually see it is held in or stopped slightly by the bonnet release there, and I think it is actually held in behind this sealing strip. So if I pull that away slightly, like so. Yep, you can see it there. It lips over, the trim of it actually lips over here. Then what you should be able to do is just peel that back like that. You can see it just down there as well. So you just need to move the sealing strip like that. That peels back like so. And there you go. And then you have exposed the fuse box and a series of connectors and whatever that is. That looks like an earthing point, which is, oh, it's grease. That's okay, that's been covered in grease, that's good. So that stops it from corroding. Very old grease, so that's probably been there from new. Oh, I'm now shifting around to actually get my head in here. So what I've done with the door is it's wedged in place and wedged right up against here with this in the way to stop it getting scratched. Now let's have a look at where the door comes in. So you've got this conduit here, which is, I don't know if you can see that, conduit here, and that comes, I'm just actually looking at this with the cameras, it's quite useful, so I can actually put this to places that I cannot see. I think it does actually come into some connectors, so I'm just going to have a quick look, because I'll be honest with you, I'm not overly familiar with the wiring in this part of the car, so I just want to be able to check. So this doesn't seem quite as simple as the rear of the car, because if you look at this foam pad here, it looks like the bulk of the door loom is actually spurring off the main loom. Now, on the rear doors, because it's a spur to the door, I could actually get away with chopping the connectors off the end, but here it is quite possible that the connectors are either behind the, well, I don't know if they would be behind the wing, because the wing actually lives, if you look at that, the wing is in front of the conduit. So what I'm going to have to do is probably chop chop the rubber off, and then with some of the plastic flexible tube that I've got, actually cut the tube in half and then effectively re-shroud it and then glue it down the centre. So effectively you're removing the old rubber surround and then placing over a new surround on top to obviously keep it re-insulated. And it would probably be a lot less trouble than having to try and find out if this loom goes off on a spur. But looking at this, I don't think it does, because it goes right up onto the main loom here, and I'm just not convinced that it is spurring off, unfortunately, which does make it quite a bit more difficult. It does mean that the actual loom itself extends into the door rather than just spurring off, which would be arguably more logical. But if that's the way that Jaguar wanted to do it, then, you know, that's just something we're going to have to accept. So what we will do is I'll put the cover back on here, because we don't need to do anything in this area of the car, and we will be turning our attention to just looking, get the light on it again, at shrouding that. Anyway, we'll have a look in a moment at some of the options we can use to shroud it, and yeah, there we go. We will be having a look at that again shortly. Oh, sorry.